The cost of living is crushing everyone, and tonight we're seeing the very voters who bought into the promises of an economic savior now facing the brutal reality of it all. Their support systems are gone, their wallets are empty, and their frustration is boiling over. Welcome back to Mind Mirror. Let's get into it.
We voted for Trump because he promised while he was campaigning like a million times that when he got into office he was going to bring down prices, bring down grocery prices. The inflation has been high ever since COVID, and he promised he would bring that down, but it's obvious to me now that that was not true. Egg prices have skyrocketed. The bird flu is killing all the birds, and he doesn't seem to be doing anything about that. He's stopping disease communications from the disease centers in America, pulled us out of the WHO. Like, how does that help anything? And yeah, all he's been doing is taking away rights and freedoms, or trying to. He's not doing anything about the economy.
Listen to what she's actually saying. She lost her home in a disaster and the healthcare for her children. And you just know the peanut gallery of dudes online are going to scream personal responsibility while supporting a system that actively pulls the rug out from under people when they're at their most vulnerable. Here's the truth. A strong nation doesn't let its citizens get wiped out by one bad hurricane or one medical bill. If your political hero's main move is to slash the safety nets that keep families afloat, you're not backing a strongman, you're backing a demolition crew, and they're coming for your foundation next.
So yeah, we totally regret our vote at this point. We've had a really tough time here in North Carolina. Half of my house got washed away in Hurricane Helene, and I applied for FEMA assistance and we got approved. But now Trump is canceling FEMA and emergency assistance to people. He's also canceled Medicaid for my children. I know they said they put a halt on his freezing of the funds, but the Medicaid portal is still not working, so we can't access anything for our children's health insurance.
So a lot of people are shocked, confused as to why
Nobody could have seen that coming.
I voted for him for lower grocery prices. He promised me cheaper prices on groceries. And that has not happened. Not only has that not happened, I'm getting my food stamps taken. I am getting my cash assistance taken. I am getting my Section 8 taken. I am getting all my welfare government.
The raw pain in her voice is something else. This is pure, unfiltered betrayal. She was sold a vision of prosperity and instead got a notice that everything keeping her family stable was being taken away. This is the ultimate lesson in looking past the slogans. Guys, when someone promises you the world, your only job is to ask, okay, but how? And who pays for it? Because 9 times out of 10, the answer is they're taking from one pocket to barely put anything in another. They promise a steak dinner, but they pay for it by taking the lunch money from people like her.
Taken. I did not ask for this. I would not have voted for him if I knew this was going to happen.
Somebody to tell me they're lying on me right now, because what the you mean that I'm not gonna get my benefits? What the you mean? Because what the happened? Do you understand that there are people like me who cannot work? Do you understand there are people like me who have kids who cannot eat? Do you understand there are people like me who go hungry the last week of the month just so my kids can't eat? Because SNAP benefits is all we get? I need somebody to please fucking tell me he's lying. I can't.
Is such a significant issue because you can't propaganda it away. Not really. Not when people are experiencing it every single day when they go out to buy anything and they remember it being cheaper and it's now more expensive. It's an issue that is constantly staying with people. And that is massively reflected in the fact that even Trump voters, a good number of Trump voters, not a small minority of Trump voters who supposedly worship Trump and swallow everything that he says, are just as upset about cost of living problems as Democrats are. It's not looking good for a president who isn't willing to do anything meaningful about.
This guy gets it. You can't spin your way out of an empty bank account. The price of groceries and gas is a reality that hits harder than any political ad. This is the massive blind spot for so many armchair economists online. They're looking at stock tickers and abstract numbers. But the real economy, the one that matters, is what's happening in your local grocery aisle. Here's a piece of advice. If you want to know how things are really going, ignore the news for a day. Go ask 5 different people what they paid for eggs, rent, and childcare this month. Compared to last year, that's the truth, and no amount of propaganda can hide it.
About affordability. Add to it the fact that Trump is unwilling or unable to produce any meaningful jobs data on the US in recent months. He's just straight up not doing it. You'll find that that cult doesn't hold itself together as well as it used to. It's what I told you before. MAGA quitting is a quiet quitting. It is a silent retreat from their loyalty to Trump. They're all too embarrassed to admit that they fell for his grift, but they absolutely see that they have been conned, even if they're not saying so. Now it's not just anecdotal evidence that I'm getting from my followers every single day. Now it's mainstream polling reflecting that. Follow for more.
Of Satan. It means swelling or inflamed in Filipino. MAGA can be translated to many different things in many different languages. I think it's kind of telling, don't you?
And let's not forget Texas, the other MAGA kingdom. They've outpaced even Florida in financial distress. Together, these red state powerhouses are setting the pace for economic struggle in America. So much for winning. If this is winning, I'd hate to see losing. The irony is delicious, but also tragic. The people who bought Trump's message wholesale are now discovering that political theater doesn't pay the electric bill. You can't chant MAGA at a rally and expect it to cover the rent. And yet, here we are. Florida man headlines colliding with Florida debt collectors. What makes it worse is the lack of a safety net. Florida and Texas both pride themselves on small government, low regulation, freedom. But when freedom meets a financial cliff, there's nothing to grab onto. Tenants can't find protections, wages don't keep up, and when the bills pile up, bankruptcy is the only way out. That's not freedom, that's freefall.
That's not freedom, that's free fall. Let that one sink in. She just perfectly exposed the biggest lie sold to working people in this country. The idea that a small government with no regulations or safety nets is some kind of paradise. It's a paradise for corporations and the super rich. For everyone else, it's a tightrope walk without a net. Real freedom isn't the freedom to go bankrupt from one ER visit. It's the economic stability to take risks, to build something, to live without the constant fear that one bad day will destroy you. What they're selling isn't freedom. It's just a transfer of risk directly onto your shoulders.
Here's the hard truth. Trump's America isn't just hurting blue states. It's hurting the very people who cheered for it the loudest. MAGA voters wanted Trump back in the White House. Now they're staring down rising bills, maxed out credit cards, and bankruptcy court appointments. They voted for a strongman economy, but what they got is debt servitude with a red hat on top. And maybe that's the lesson here. You can't govern a country on culture wars and catchphrases. You can't fight inflation with rallies or balance the economy with slogans. At the end of the day, you either make life affordable for the people who trusted you, or you don't. And in Florida, in Texas, and across MAGA land, the verdict is becoming painfully clear. So I'll leave you with this. If Trump's biggest fans are now his biggest victims, what does that say about the movement itself? Is MAGA the future, or is it just a very expensive mistake? Drop your thoughts in the comments section and subscribe to Trend Feed if you want more stories like this.
Right about people feeling it. You know, when we talked about this interview happening, we had people reach out from around the country. Regina Foley messaged me, and she says she is retired in Greensboro, North Carolina. She is a registered Republican all her life. She voted for you 3 different times, but she is not happy about how her prices have not come down that she sees. And she said this, quote, I want the Republicans to keep control of Congress in 2026, but something has to be done fast. I don't see the best economy right now. Wall Street numbers do not reflect my Main Street money. Please do something.
That was a masterclass in saying absolutely nothing. He hears a direct plea from a woman struggling to afford cheese, and his response is a weird, rambling poem about the beautiful word groceries. This isn't a conversation, it's a deflection. It's a tactic designed to sound folksy and relatable, while completely avoiding the actual problem. Learn to spot this. When you ask a leader a direct question about your financial pain and they respond with nostalgic platitudes, or by blaming someone else, it means they have no plan, or worse, they have a plan and they know you're not going to like it.
President Trump. So I guess what do you say to Regina and people like her?
Well, I do say this. Beef we have to get down. I think of groceries. You know, it's an old-fashioned word, but it's a beautiful word. Beef we have to get down, but we've got prices way down. And think of this. Energy. She drives a car, probably, and her energy prices are way down. And energy is so all-encompassing. It's so big that when energy goes down, everything comes down. Everything follows it. And I have energy down to 5-6 year lows now.
You think prices are coming down from this?
I believe that. Yeah, I think they're coming down, but I think they're down already. I think the biggest problem is Republicans don't talk about it. They don't talk about the word affordability, and the Democrats lie about it. Look, when I took over, and I said this, inflation was so bad under Biden. Remember, he had the Inflation Reduction Act. It was
9%. Yeah.
It was a scam. And he tried to lower inflation, but he caused the inflation, and he tried to lower the inflation. He took over my economy where inflation was at 1%, which is perfect, 1%. He drove it 9 or 10 times higher than that in a short period of time. When I took over, it was a mess. I have inflation way down. I have it down to a normal number right now, lower than a normal number, in my opinion, I think. So I do say to her, first of all, I love her because she voted for me 3 times. And I think she'd vote for me again if I had that opportunity.
Trump can't spin the problem away. The rising cost of living, the rising cost of groceries, the rising cost of the things people need for their families is our new reality. And it's been going on for long enough that everybody feels it. Millions of people every day, whether they're at the grocery store or at Walmart or paying their bills or paying for their health care. Just ask Marjorie Taylor Greene.
When the president says there's virtually no inflation and that grocery prices are going down, do you agree with him on that?
No, I go to the grocery store myself. Grocery prices remain high. Energy prices are high. My electricity bills are higher here in Washington, D.C. at my apartment, and they're also higher at my house in Rome, Georgia, higher than they were.
Pay attention. When one of the most hardcore, loyal insiders starts admitting that the official story is a lie, you're witnessing an earthquake. She can't deny it because she lives it. She sees her own bills. This is where the political narrative shatters against the wall of reality. For all the guys who ride or die for their political team, this is your moment of clarity. If even the star players are telling you the game is rigged and the scoreboard is fake, maybe it's time to stop cheering and start asking why your ticket costs so damn much.
Were a year ago. So affordability is a problem. But when I go back home and I talk to many of my constituents, I'm hearing stories of not only are we having a really hard time affording groceries and rent and things like that, but I'm also hearing stories about people maxing out their credit cards just to afford their monthly expenses.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. Didn't have this on my bingo card, but she is one of the loudest and most prominent people in the MAGA world to now represent very publicly, she's in an interview there on CNN, a crack in that coalition. The facade of a unified Republican Party is a thing of the past, at least right now. There are cracks. And on the face of voter rage, which translated into devastating double-digit defeats for Republicans from coast to coast on Tuesday, discontent is simmering inside the GOP against Trump and his very public and brazen displays and agenda of gilding things with gold and taking bulldozers to the White House to do a multi-million-dollar renovation as Americans struggle to put food on the table.
Why do you support Trump?
Because, I don't think he's like the greatest person deep down, but he is like a businessman, and I think he's doing a damn good job at running the country.
I think he's doing a horrible job because the fact that Donald Trump has imposed tariffs that put upward pressure on prices, about $1,500 on average per consumer in this country. GDP growth has gone down in 2025 as compared to 2024. Real median wage growth has gone down in 2025 as compared to 20.
And that's how it's done. This kid just calmly and methodically dismantled the entire "he's a good businessman" argument with a fire hose of facts. While his opponent was running on pure vibes, he brought the receipts, the data, the numbers. This is the skill so many people lack. The ability to separate emotional attachment from objective reality. You might feel like things are great, but the data on wages, growth, and tariffs tells the real story. Learn to read the balance sheet, not just the campaign slogan, because one of them is designed to inform you, and the other is designed to fool you.
2024, real domestic manufacturing investment declined every single quarter of Trump's administration. We saw the worst year of job growth in the past 4 years, unemployment increase, and inflation stay up above the target rate of 2%.
Grocery prices are better, gas prices are down. Affordability is a big issue, and everything is more affordable since President Trump has been in office. And we're all making a little more money, I think. The economy is improving with President Trump.
Right now, I'm not seeing much for myself. I'm a small business owner. I have a flower shop here, and I probably just experienced the worst Valentine in my 45-year career as a florist. I'm not sure if it was it being on the weekend or if it was the economy. He's the guy everybody loves to hate, but he's prepared to handle what comes his way. I'm concerned with after he gets out of office, what's on down the road for America. That's very concerning.
It's been tough. I mean, tariffs have been tough, right? I mean, that's a whole different layer to business. But in my opinion, you flip the coin over, look at the positive side, and you make the best out of whatever's in front of you. I'm very grateful to be in business, grateful to live in America where we can actually provide a free economy.
If you could pick one word to describe the state of the economy right now, what would that one word be?
All fucked up.
All fucked up. You couldn't get a more honest, gut-level economic indicator than that. That is the sound of a political identity crashing head-on into the reality of a gas pump. He's living the consequences of the policies he cheered for. And this is the paradox. He knows it's broken. He feels it every time he fills his tank. But the psychological leap to admitting his chosen leader is the cause is just too great for many people to make. So they live in that space, knowing it's all screwed up, but refusing to name the architect.
That was a diehard Trump supporter here in Florida at this gas station after he filled up his tank at the price of $4.29 per gallon. Gas, just one of the expenses that's skyrocketing as the war in Iran continues with no end in sight.
It's crazy, bro. Right now I'm paying $2,600 a month for my rent. You know what I mean? And that ain't no bills included. You know what I mean? Like, this is really, 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 really hard. My wife's about to be pregnant. She's due in about next week. And it is extremely difficult.
We spent all day asking Floridians to describe the state of the economy in just one word. The reviews are in. They're brutal. If you could pick one word to describe the state of today's economy, what would that word be?
A tragedy. Sad. Disappointing.
It's not the way it used to be. I don't know, man. It's like survival right now. Everybody on survival mood right now.
Desolate, yeah. It's bad.
Now, while some of President Trump's most ardent supporters say that they're willing to put up with these crazy high prices and are in support of this war in Iran,
we voted for him to be, like we say in Spanish, somebody with cojones, you know what I'm saying, with some balls to get in there and be daddy. Take the belt, put everything in action, because now you can see that we are respected across the world again, right?
Most of the people we spoke to say they wish President Trump was focusing on issues back here at home as they struggle to make ends meet.
I struggle every day, and now I'm taking care of my mom who's older, being denied simple things like breathing meds. So gas, what are you going to do? So I don't eat this week because I have to take mom to the doctors tomorrow. And I'm not the only one. I know a lot of people in the same situation, homeless, no place to go, no shelters, no food.
This right here is the whole damn story. It's not about politics. It's not about winning. It's about a woman who has to starve herself to get her sick mother to a doctor. Any political movement, any economic theory, any leader that results in this has failed on a fundamental human level. To the men watching, real strength isn't about being tough and telling people to suck it up. It's about building a system in a society where this kind of impossible choice doesn't happen. If your response to her pain is anything other than a desire to fix the broken system that caused it, you've lost the plot.
No medical.
All of this as gas prices continue to rise as the war in Iran spills into its second month.
If you could pick one word to describe the state of the economy right now, what would that one word be?
All fucked up. All fucked up.
That was a diehard Trump supporter here in Florida at this gas station after he filled up his tank at the price of $4.29 per gallon. Gas, just one of the expenses that's skyrocketing as the war in Iran continues with no end in sight.
It's crazy, bro. Right now I'm paying $2,600 a month for my rent. You know what I mean? And that ain't no bills included. You know what I mean? Like, this is really, 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 really hard. My wife's about to be pregnant. She's due in about next week. And it is extremely difficult.
We spent all day asking Floridians to describe the state of the economy in just one word. The reviews are in. They're brutal.
If you could pick one word to describe the state of today's economy, what would that word be?
A tragedy. Sad. disappointing.
It's not the way it used to be. I don't know, man. It's like survival right now. Everybody on survival mood right now.
Desolate, yeah. It's bad.
Now, while some of President Trump's most ardent supporters say that they're willing to put up with these crazy high prices and are in support of this war in Iran,
We voted for him to be, like we say in Spanish, somebody with cojones, you know what I'm saying, with some balls to get in there and be daddy. Take the belt, put everything in action, because now you can see that we are respected across the world again, right?
most of the people we spoke to say they wish President Trump was focusing on issues back here at home as they struggle to make ends meet.
I struggle every day, and now I'm taking care of my mom who's older, being denied simple things like breathing meds. So gas, what are you going to do? So I don't eat this week because I have to take mom to the doctors tomorrow. And I'm not the only one. I know a lot of people in the same situation, homeless, no place to go, no shelters, no food, no medical.
All of this as gas prices continue to rise as the war in Iran spills into its second month.
We've seen the human cost when grand promises fail to deliver. It's not just politics, it's people's lives, their security, and their ability to care for their families. What do you think is the hardest truth for these voters to accept? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe.